In this video, I'll show you how you can increase your rate of fire with the 5-second reload mortars, which are the British and German mortars. To preface this video, I don't know if this is a bug or a feature, so I'll just be calling it a mechanic. Also, the French use the same mortar as the British, so when I say British mortar, that includes the French ones as well. I'll go over quickly how this mechanic works. After you shoot a mortar, you have to reload, but if you switch to another mortar, your reload resets. For example, on the American mortar, which has a 3-second reload, if you shoot a mortar, get out mid-reload, and get onto another American mortar, you have to start the 3-second reload all over again. For the British and German mortars, when your reload resets from swapping mortars, it resets to a 3-second reload. The reload for British and German mortars is normally 5 seconds if you stay on the same mortar. So, by swapping mortars, you cut off around 2 seconds from your reload. I will demonstrate this mechanic in action. Here, a British mortar is fired. Immediately after firing the mortar, I hop out and get into the other mortar. If you time the reload on the second mortar, you'll see that it only takes 3 seconds, instead of the 5 seconds that it usually takes. I will use tests to see how much faster the 2-mortar method is. For this test, I will be timing how long it takes to fire 20 mortar shells, starting from when the first shell is fired to when the last shell is fired. I sped up this footage by 4 times, so I'll be multiplying the time by 4 to get the actual time. And, on the 2-mortar setup, I fired 10 shells per mortar for a total of 20 shells. The 2-mortar setup has finished, and we can see that it takes around 70 seconds to fire 20 shells. The single mortar setup has finished, and it took around 95 seconds to fire 20 shells. There is a 25-second difference between these 2 mortaring methods, and the 2-mortar method saves you around 1.25 seconds per shell. In the background, I'll show the test with German mortars, which should have the same result as British mortars. So the main advantage of the 2-mortar method is that you can fire mortars faster. Another advantage is that you can alternate between HE and smoke mortars, allowing you to both suppress an area and cover your team's advance at the same time. You can also mortar 2 different targets at once. However, the disadvantages of this method are that it takes double the supply of 1 mortar, because you need to build 2, and that it takes extra time to aim both mortars. Here's a summary of the pros and cons of the 2-mortar method that was just covered. In my experience, I found that the flexibility and increased fire rate of the 2-mortar method for the British and German factions was very beneficial, even if it took extra time and supplies to set up. Because their mortars don't receive a fire rate benefit, I did not find this setup beneficial for the American faction. If this mechanic is a feature, then I hope it helps you out on the battlefield. If it's a bug, then devs please fix. Anyways, please leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and thank you for watching.